What's up, Beatle people of YouTube? Checking in one more time. Just some stuff to tell you about. It seems like the last couple of weekends I've been immersed in Beatleness, and I have to share it with you. Saturday, February 25th, the Space at Westbury. The concert for Bangladesh Revisited. Oh my God, what a tremendous night this was. This is my classic rock brethren from Long Island, Wondrous Stories, led by Kenny Forgione and Tommy Williams. And of course, the core band of Mark Bonder and Kevin McCann and Ricky Martinez. Huge group of guests. Tommy Mandel on organ, Barry Waller on bass, Frank Walker on guitar, Rich Zucker on drums. I'm reading these names so I don't screw them up. Andy Marshall on guitar, Lester Saldinger on bass, John Murjavi on guitar and sitar. Murjavi did some sitar at the beginning of the show that was tremendous. Huge group of background singers, Christine Cariola, Holly Ann LaRocca, Maverick Williams, Laura Press, Sue Turner, Tom Sanfilippo. Some amazing guests. Ed Ryan coming on and doing the Leon Russell segment, just killing it. My man Godfrey Townsend on guitar. Jan Close did a few tunes. Marshall Crenshaw did a short set of his tunes. We had Tom Bowes from Tower of Power did the Billy Preston thing on That's the Way God Planned It. I came on the very end of the show and did What Is Life and a few Wings things. We had Steve Holly, who's the drummer in the final lineup of Wings. And Steve Holly brought his friend Denny Lane up as a surprise to everybody, and Denny got up and did Go Now. As a singing bass player whose blueprint is McCartney in Wings, to play bass and sing with Steve Holly and Denny Lane together was a big friggin' deal. An amazing night. Can't say enough good things about it. We're all still buzzing off this thing. And then this past Saturday, I had to stop by the fest for Beatle fans, right? I had to stop in there and say hello to some of my Beatle people. First stop was to see my dear friend Roseanne Beluso. She is the Maca Mama. She's the founder, I believe she's the founder, of Fans on the Run. Roseanne works with Neil Glazer, who runs Celebrity Art, and Neil is Ringo Starr's exclusive art dealer. And so we had some of Ringo's pieces on display, as well as some John Lennon prints, and some McCartney things. Really, really cool stuff. My buddy Denny Lane was there. My old buddy Joey Molland from Badfinger was there. Said hello to Denny Sywell, who was the drummer in the first lineup of Wings. Said hello to Glenn Burtnick and Ken Dashow and Billy J. Kramer and Mark Hudson. I also met Mark Rivera, who's the sax player in Billy Joel's band, and was, maybe still is, I'm not sure, the musical director with Ringo. And Mark had his solo album, Common Bond, available, including vinyl copies. This record is tremendous, by the way. I love it. Just good old-fashioned, solid rock and roll, soul, pop. It's killing. Some friends of mine on here, too. John Conti on bass and Steve Conti on guitar, Jeff Kazee on keys. Ringo plays on a track. Billy Joel plays on a track. The LP comes with a download card as well, so you can get the digital as well. I do want to talk about Sgt. Pepper, because as I'm sure you're aware, this year is the 50th anniversary of the release of Sgt. Pepper, and there's all sorts of speculation. What's Apple Corps going to do? And now the talk is that they are going to reinstate Strawberry Fields Forever and Penny Lane into the original album lineup of Pepper, which, if you're not aware, when they started recording the album that became Pepper, two of the first tracks that they worked on were Strawberry Fields and Penny Lane, right? And February of 1967, Brian Epstein goes to George Martin and says, we need a single, we need something. Revolver had come out in August of 1966, right? And all that time had gone by with no new Beatles product, right? I think Christmas came and went without a new Beatles record, which had never happened before. So George Martin gives them Strawberry Fields and Penny Lane. They put that out as a double A-side. It's the first Beatles single since Please Please Me that didn't go to number one. And they didn't put it on Pepper because they didn't put singles on albums in those days, right? Okay, so now they're talking about maybe they're going to put those two songs back on Sgt. Pepper. And there's all sorts of debate going back and forth, as there always is with these things, about whether or not it's a good idea. Personally, I can't imagine where and how those two songs could possibly fit onto Pepper as we know it today. Pepper is already so dense and rich with musical information. You're going to tell me that you're going to have an album that's got A Day in the Life and Mr. Kite and Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds and Strawberry Fields Forever. It would be like taking like a chocolate blackout cake and like putting like Nutella and peanut butter on top of it or something. I don't know. That's a bad analogy, but you see the point I'm trying to make. I could see them doing a reissue of the album and having a special extra 45 of Strawberry Fields and Penny Lane. I'm not a big one for complaining. And, you know, some of you people out there are really beginning to test my patience, man. Everything the Beatles do, there seems to be people that just go, well, it's not, well, how come they can't do this? And why aren't they going to do that? What is it going to take to please some of you people? Not all of you. There's just a handful of you. What is it going to take? What can they possibly do that will please you? Do Paul and Ringo have to get on the UPS truck themselves and deliver these things to you by hand? Of course, my favorite argument is that somehow if they add the two songs back into Pepper, that it's like rewriting history and tampering with the album. Let me tell you something about Sgt. Pepper. It will survive whatever Apple does to it. Okay, Sgt. Pepper has survived Bill Cosby.
It was 20 years ago today that Sgt. Pepper taught the band to play.
It has survived William Shatner.
Look for the girl with the sun in her eyes, and she's gone.
Pepper also survived what I like to call the Robert Stigwood Massacre of 1978. So Pepper is impervious to being like ruined by anyone. Whatever it is, it's going to be fine. It's the Beatles. Okay? It's the Beatles. I'll be happy with whatever they do. You know me. I'm easy to please. That's my Beatles update for right now. Keep on checking out johnmontagna.com. You can download my music from there. You can listen to the podcast, Radio 418. There's going to be some news coming up in a few days. Another update that I'm going to do about a thing that I did for a thing. I can't really say anything more about it for another couple of days. So I'll be back to tell you more about that. Until then, I will see you on the next one. Be well.